That is definitely a jam.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to My Sister's Jam. I'm your host, Camille, and I'm here, of course, with my lovely co host, my big sister, Missy. Hey, girl.
Hey everybody.
Hey, girl.
We
Hey. We up in this thing.
up in there.
How are you doing, my sister?
I am doing wonderful, my darling. It's hot, but
It's hot.
it's hot. But
Yeah.
that's not a complaint. That's not a complaint from me. Mm-mm.
No, we'll take it. We'll take what you can get because it's not snow. So it's
Right.
great.
It's not snow and it's not the Midwest anymore from where we're from. It's
So we'll
nice and
take it.
snow.
We'll take it. Well, lovely listeners, today is the conclusion of our semi two-parter that we started last week. This is our look into jams produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So if you listened last week, you know that we discussed 10 of our favorite Janet Jackson jams, all of which were produced by the iconic Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. The three of them made some magic. They made
All of
magic.
it. They made all the
Yes.
magic.
Yes, so today we're digging into more jams produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, but these are from other artists, not including Miss Janet, of course. So we are excited to get into it, give some more flowers where flowers are due, and we're going to do that.
Mhm.
But before we get into it, I did want to mention if you have just found us for the first time since we've been on YouTube, we do want you to know that we have over 30 audio only episodes that were released before our migration to YouTube. So those are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else you get your podcasts. You can listen to many, many, many more episodes about our jams on there if you would like.
Yeah, because sometimes we reference those previous jams and y'all like, what?
Yes.
That's where you go to see those. Now, comment if you guys would like us to upload those audio only episodes to YouTube because maybe you prefer to just be on YouTube. You don't want to go on Spotify or Apple or wherever. Let us know in the comments. Y'all might not care either way, but
Yes,
just
do
let us
let us know. We can make them available. We want to meet you where you are.
know where you're at because we give people like their things.
That's right. That's right. Well, are we ready to jump into our show for today, sister? Are you ready for me to deliver my factoids?
Yes, let's deliver the factoids about the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis duo.
All right. Well, for our OG Jam fam, y'all know this used to be called our rapid fire facts. Well, we got this new format on. We're not really gonna call them that no more because one had that little pum pum sound or whatever I used to do. Whatever it was, whatever noise used to be in there. So I'm just gonna give you some little facts, and there's not gonna be a sound effect, but they're just as important. So here we go.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis first met in 1972 at the U.S. federally funded program Upward Bound, where they were both brought in as peer teachers because of their excellence in mathematics. While there, they became great friends and introduced different genres of music to each other. Jimmy grew up listening mostly to pop music, and Terry mostly funk and R&B. So they shared their love of these genres with each other. Now, Lewis had been in the band Flight Time, which Harris joined late in its history, and which Prince restructured as The Time in 1981.
Ooh, the
Now,
time. I'm sorry.
yes, y'all know about that. If you listen to those
Oh,
older
yeah, know about
episodes,
the
you know.
time.
Now, in a career that has spanned more than 4 decades, Jam and Lewis have worked with a multitude of artists, and I do mean a multitude of amazing artists, including Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Mariah Carey, George Michael, and many, 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 many more. Like, what a
Why
resume.
did they make so much fire? Like, I'm like, so y'all just happen to become friends or y'all just, oh, let's make fire together.
Like, okay,
Okay.
cool, let's do it. I, the type of friends we need in our lives. These are the type
Right.
of friends we need. I love it. So that's just a little history about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And if my sister's ready, y'all know what time it is. Your first jam, my friend?
Yes, let's go ahead and get into it, girl.
Let's
So
do
we're
it.
gonna get into the old jams because I mean that's a huge part of what they did. So whatever. But my first jam is Sunshine by Alexander O'Neal. So Sunshine is a 1989 song by R&B singer-songwriter Alexander O'Neal, which he gave us a lot of jams in the 80s. He was that dude in the 80s. And it was the final single from his second solo album, Hearsay. So while this song wasn't actually one of his huge commercial success songs, it did do well on US radio, particularly urban radio stations, because I definitely remember hearing this song on Chicago radio, WGCI and V103. Like I remember hearing it on those radio stations and during like Quiet Storm radio. So this is one of my favorite Alexander O'Neal jams. His top favorite, or not his top favorite, my top favorite of his is another one that recently blew up on social media, but I'm not going to talk about that one just yet. This is probably like my second favorite Alexander O'Neal song. But I feel like Sunshine is one of his best ballads, though.
Yes.
And so, of course, when you listen to it, you hear Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis sound. And I feel like we probably weren't really aware
of the sound. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know that I recognized it until we compiled these episodes, and I'm like, oh, okay. I now I pick up on it. Like, okay, this is clearly a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis jam. Now
right.
I know what the sound is.
Right. And so it's like, you know, while we don't necessarily have baby ears, it is bringing out like our baby ears. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
this does sound like, so while we were going through all these jams, we're like, yep. So you hear that percussion, you hear those keyboards that they're famous for, and Sunshine definitely gets its props in the R&B and hip hop music. You know, so Jay-Z actually had Babyface re-sing the hook from Sunshine in his 1997 song, Always Be My Sunshine, from his album In My Lifetime Volume 1. And that I'm just one of those people where I'm like, okay, I did like that Jay-Z song, and of course my favorite part of it was the chorus. Was Babyface singing that part, touch me, I wanna go. You know, that was Babyface singing that song, Sunshine, by Alexander O'Neal. So I'm just an R&B kid. I like hip hop, but I'm like, ooh, so we had that R&B. Oh, I like the Jay-Z song because there's R&B in it.
Hey, whatever works. Listen, these artists know what they got to do to make a sale. He had to appeal to people like you. There you go. Throw a little Babyface in there. Now he got you. Perfect.
But that just goes to show you that like artists, whether it's hip hop or R&B, they sample like each other's song. It's like they love all genres of music. Like it becomes so clear. They sample so much stuff. So Alexander O'Neal came with the heat with Sunshine with Jimmy Jam. So that is my jam. Yes.
Beautiful way to kick it off, my sister. Thank you. Right on into my first jam. A jam it is indeed. I've got Bad Girl by Usher. Now, this is from Usher's absolutely iconic fourth studio album, Confessions, that y'all already know, we know and love. This album was released on March 23rd, 2004 by Arista Records. Now, while Confessions is primarily an R&B album, of course, it showcases Usher's versatility through like a mix of ballads and up-tempo jams, incorporating different genres like dance pop, hip hop, crunk. Crunk was big, 2004. Crunk was all the rage. So it's like it was a crunk movement, okay? It was the whole thing. And I was here for it. I was absolutely here for it. But the album just, it has all of these different vibes, right? So Bad Girl, this song wasn't a single, but it was definitely a bop. And I feel like it was popular. Like, was it not?
Okay, because you're literally blowing my mind with that right now. How was that not a single as much as we heard it?
I could have sworn we heard it all the time, and I'm just like, so we didn't, or was we just playing it all the time? Or
Yeah,
I thought
like,
it
were we
was.
just playing it? Because we definitely
'Cause
bought
I
it. So
believe we were just playing it all the time. I know we was, but like I thought
right,
other people
like
were also playing it all the time.
we were hearing it on the radio too.
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know.
know. No, let us
I'm
know. Let
very
us know in the comments.
confused.
And I was trying to think, like, was there a video? I don't think there was a video, but it was. I thought it was popular. I thought it was right.
I thought there was a video too, but I'm probably thinking about Caught Up, Amy. Where we probably think about Caught Up.
Caught Up's a lovely video. I love the video too.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
but maybe Bad Girl don't have one, but it was popular around us. Maybe just between the two of us.
I
Well,
mean,
anywho,
wow.
hey, Bad Girl is the 12th track on this No Skips album, and it talks about exactly what the title implies, a baddie. Okay, like this, it's pretty straightforward. It's what it's
It
called,
is.
is what it's about. Pretty straightforward song. The song makes me want to put on a little bitty dress and some stilettos and go out, as if I still dress like that. Y'all, look at me. Do I look like I? Do I look like I put on some?
Don't do that. You do your podcast thing. That's your podcast, girl.
I no longer really go out in that attire, but that's the vibe that the song is. It makes you want to get cute. Like it's a feel good, like pregame jam that I will still play to this day. Now, am I pre-gaming for like brunch? Yeah, probably, but I still got to get cute and I got to feel myself before I go. Okay, so it might be early, but I'm still gonna play it, right? The one thing about this song that does date it a little bit, and I mentioned a song dating itself in last week's episode too, when Janet was talking about maybe we'll meet at a bar, maybe we'll meet at a club.
Yeah.
People don't do that anymore. What dates this song a little bit? He says that the bad girl was drinking Hypnotic and Alizé.
Wow.
Does anyone still drink those? And what's funny is I Googled Hypnotic and Alizé like a few weeks ago, not thinking about this song, but they just came up in my mind for some other reason. I was like, hey, what happened to them drinks?
Because the way you were nobody unless you were drinking Alizé.
Bruh. And I'm like, what even is Alizé? Because I wasn't up drinking age when we were talking about Alizé. So I was like, what is it? I was like Googling, like, okay, is it wine? Is it a liqueur? What is it? I was just doing some research and I'm just like, yeah, for him to mention Hypnotic Alizé in the song is pretty hilarious because those, I don't see those anywhere.
I
Let me
have
know
no
if you drink them. If you got a cocktail you make with those, let me know because I'm down for a delicious cocktail, but I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, but I love Bad Girl. It's just a little bop.
Give me
That's
one
my
of them.
What?
Give me one of them.
Oh yeah, give me one of them.
Give me one of them.
Oh. Perfect. All right. On
I
to
believe
yours.
it wasn't a single. How?
It's really tripping me out. I'm like, this has to be incorrect, but no,
But they
it
was
was not
right.
released as a single. The whole album was just so fire. I think that's why. Like, 'cause
Yeah,
people
like
know
all
all
of
of
them.
the album
We
tracks
probably
'cause
got
the
all
album
of
tracks.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
right.
people just know all the songs. So that's probably why. But, on to your second jam.
Okay, on to my second jam. Girl, the way me and my sister both love this song. She let me do it though, y'all. And it's Tender Love by Force MDs.
Yes.
Tender love.
Tender love.
Tender. Who that boy know he could sing? You hear me?
I'm saying we better be cool on that YouTube. Gonna be like, huh? What y'all doing?
Baby, I surrender.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Tender love. Girl, this song. I swear. Tender Love is this freaking amazing, beautiful 1985 serenade, because it sounds like a serenade to me, by legendary R&B group Force MDs. It was featured on 2 albums, actually, on the soundtrack to the musical comedy drama Crush Groove. And then it was also on Force MD's second studio album, Chillin'.
Okay.
So Tender Love is considered to be the track that put Force MDs on the map with a wider audience, outside of just, the urban audience, because it reached number 4 on the Billboard R&B charts.
Nice.
But it also reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming their only single to cross the top 40.
Okay.
So that was huge for them, right? Like, I love that for them. So the members of Force MDs that became the most recognizable of the group, like the ones that did Tender Love and Love is a House, which is also my jam. I'm not talking about that one right now, but freaking Love is a House. But anyway, because, they went through multiple band member changes and, how things like that happen. So the members were Jesse D, Antoine Lundy, who was the lead singer, Stevie D, Charles Mercury Nelson, and Trisco Pearson. The only remaining living member is Stevie D.
Oh, man.
I know, who is now 60 years old, I believe. I did a little googly goo, a little bit of and so I think he's 60 from what I saw. But yeah, girl, I just hated reading about them, and I already knew this, but like I had to get the members' names straight because a lot of them came out.
Yeah.
But like the lead singer was only like 34 or 5 when he died. He had like I think it's ASL.
ALS.
ALS. Thank you. Not ASL. ALS, yeah. And he died from that. And I was reading about the disease and I was like, wow. So that was really, really painful to read, but just like a lot of health issues. So I don't know. But according to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, it took Force MDs only 2 hours to lay the vocals for Tender Love. Wow. I was like, it took them only 2 hours to lay those vocals that they laid.
Wow. They came in ready. It was like, we ready.
They came in ready to say, oh, y'all want us to do this song? Because they wrote the song first. They didn't know who was going to sing it, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. They just wrote it first.
Right.
And it was given to Force MDs. They came in like rent was due, like, boom, goodbye.
Right, the end.
Very much. Give us our check. But
I love it.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they were very like impressed with the group and with their skills and stuff. And so like they couldn't have having 2 hours. They were like, well, okay, we love it. So we're done.
Beautiful.
Now, a little fun fact about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, this was their very first top 10 hit.
Woo!
The very first hit that they produced that hit to top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. So that was like a huge milestone in their career.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, girl, that Tender Love, Force MDs, woo! That is my second jam produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Perfection. That is one of my favorite jams on today's list, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, one of us had to do it. We couldn't both do it, but like, yes. Yes.
I mean, and they had the vocal. They almost sounded kind of doo-wop, but like they could sing with just their voices. Like they had that.
You're right. It was great. All right. On to my second jam. Tell Me If You Still Care. This one is by the SOS Band. The SOS Band is an American R&B and electro-funk group who gained fame in the 80s. This song is fire. Fire.
So same as my sister just said about my last jam. This is probably my favorite jam that she has today.
Yes. Now, Tell Me If You Still Care is the opening track on the SOS Band's 4th studio album, On the Rise, released by Taboo Records on July 1st, 1983. Now, it was issued as the album's second single, reaching number 5 on the Billboard Hot Soul Songs in '83 and number 65 on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, Tell Me If You Still Care was covered by Monica in 1995 for her debut album, Miss Thing. I'm sure you remember that,
I
don't you?
remember that. Yep.
I did not, but I didn't. I don't think I ever listened to that album all the way through. I just knew her hits.
Yeah, I remember that. And no, I love Monica, but that was
But
no. I love it. Love me some Monica.
we definitely do. It was also interpolated in the course of Scarface's 1997 hit Smile, as well as the 2013 song Smile by Kirk Franklin. Gospel artist. Yes, yes. Other samples and interpolations include those by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, LL Cool J, Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson, Jodeci, and more. I feel like you got a hit when it's sampled and interpolated a bunch of times. That's how you know.
Because the way that remix, I forget the song, the Mariah Carey song that she did the remix to that too.
Mm-hmm.
Always Be My Baby.
Oh,
Remix.
yes.
They used it to that. When I tell you I played that thing out.
Fire, girl. Now, unfortunately, y'all, this jam is not available on streaming platforms. Too much devastation. So,
Too much.
no,
No.
right. So it's only going to be available on our YouTube playlist. I mean, a tragedy and a travesty indeed, because the song is so fire, it needs to be available to anyone, everywhere, all the time. Okay, but we're gonna do what we can and put it in the YouTube playlist. So if you're listening to us somewhere other than YouTube, skedaddle over to the YouTube and check the playlist over there. You'll get the chance. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Now, my favorite part of this song is how smooth these vocals are and how well they just mesh and merge and intermingle with this beat.
With the
Like,
beat.
why is they riding this beat so smoothly?
It's like so smooth. It's like
I don't
what even
understand.
is the beat doing? Like, what is it even doing? I'm like,
And that's that too. And I'm like, and the beat though. I feel like this beat was ahead of its time, honestly. Like
it was.
it's kind of modern sounding to
Mm-hmm.
have been such an
Mm-hmm.
old jam. And I'm just like, this is just banging all the way around. You know that part that gets you, listen to my heartbeat.
Listen to my heartbeat when you and me. Yes. When
all of
you
it, all of it.
Yes, girl.
I'm gonna get in the car. You know how stuff sound better in the car? I'm like, I'm gonna get in the car.
When in the car.
I'm getting in the car because I need to turn it up to the point that I can in the car. That's how this makes me feel.
The way you never ever lied about that part right there being so fire. Listen to my heartbeat, and then the very beginning when the beat come in first, when the beat start first, then the music come in right after that. I'd be like,
it's just unnecessarily good, unnecessarily good, and that's all I got. I keep it simple on that one. Fire. That's the answer.
ooh.
Tell Me If You Still Care. My second jam.
I'm just upset that it's not on anything because I'm not going to be able to make a reel about it. I'll be able to do one for YouTube, but
man,
not for the others.
Yeah,
Thank you, sister, because I love that song.
Of course,
Right.
the pleasure was all mine.
Again.
Your third jam.
My third jam is by Mr. Johnny Gill, and this jam is called "Giving My All to You." Now, "Giving My All to You" is a deep cut from Johnny Gill, and it doesn't get talked about enough for me. So I'm gonna talk about it. It's from his, you're right. It's from his 1990 album, Johnny Gill, which was also his first album that he released under his new label at that time, Motown Records. And it was the third studio album of his entire career. So just to give some perspective, this was his breakthrough album for him, right? Because this was the album that had the singles, Rub You the Right Way. We know how. Yeah. Don't nobody say harder than Johnny Gill except maybe Teddy P. You know, so he gave us that one. He gave us My, and Fair Weather Friends. So all these were hits. Like all of these was hits off this album. But by far, my favorite song from this album is Giving My All to You, which was co-produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, along with Herman Randy Davis. So because this song was not an actual single, I couldn't find too many facts about it. But Giving My All to You is this slow, very, very sensual. Like, don't it sound sensual? Like the instrument, like it's, although it's not a sexual song, you know, the instrumentation, it just make you feel, you know, like doing this right, whatever this means.
That's vibey. That's what I call vibey.
Oh, that's vibey. Okay, it's vibey. And it's a song about a man telling his love interest, like, hey, he just telling it straight up. I'm giving my all to you. Nothing else will do. I love the lyrics of this song too. He says, I'm giving my all to you. Nothing else will do outside of my all. I'm giving my all to you today, he said. Today.
Hey, right away. Without delay.
I'm giving it to you today.
But giving it to you today without delay.
Without delay. Right away, without delay.
I'm sorry.
What?
He probably definitely didn't say that. Okay.
But that's what he's saying. He literally said, I'm giving my all to you today. I want to know if you love me that way.
Yep.
I mean, be straight up about it. I can't be here wasting my time. Girl, the way this song has me in a chokehold today, like he said, like it just came out. Like I'm acting like the way I listen to this song still, like it just was released. But it definitely was released 34 years ago. I'm like, giving my all. I definitely do. I specifically remember hearing this jam though on the radio back in the day because I wouldn't have known it otherwise. Like I was super young when this came out, so it must have been on the radio, even though it was one of them deep cuts. And I don't know how radio works. I guess they can play songs like if they get albums or something, even if it's not a commercial single. I guess they can just play whatever.
I guess so, if they want to.
This song is so incredibly beautiful and one of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's best works, in my humble opinion, my little bitty opinion. Now, y'all, like sisters mentioned before, be sure to go listen to the playlist, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Luckily, this one is on all of them.
Entitled,
yes. Yes. Thank you.
Of course. Lovely third jam. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I shall move right along.
Moving right along.
My third jam is If It Isn't Love. Why
do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind?
I knew it did. That's the name of the song. All that. All that.
If it isn't love, why do I feel this way?
Why does she stay on my mind? I knew it did. I'm gonna have the people confused. They're gonna be like, I typed that in. I couldn't find it.
I don't see it anywhere.
For clarity, the name of the song is If It Isn't Love. Not doing this. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is the first single from New Edition's fifth studio album, Heartbreak, released in 1988. The song became the biggest hit from the album, reaching the top 10 of the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 7. Now, this made it their first top 10 hit following the departure of Bobby Brown. Now, they were... Now, they were held off from the number one spot of the Hot Black Singles chart by that very same person that was voted out of the group just 2 years prior, Mr. Bobby Brown.
Mm.
His hit "Don't Be Cruel" was holding that number one spot. This
Yeah.
jam was number two.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, "Don't Be Cruel" was a jam.
Don't be cruel.
That
Yeah.
was a jam. But I would never be that cruel to you. Okay,
All right. Right.
it was.
Girl, you need to
But
change your attitude. Change your attitude around here.
you do, you need to. So, a few fun facts I found about If It Isn't Love. Beyonce's video for her single Love on Top was inspired by the music video for If It Isn't Love.
Really?
I probably should have realized that. I can't remember the If It Isn't Love video, but I remember Love on Top, and she's like, it's like she performing, like practicing with like a band. It's like rehearsal vibes. I don't know. Is that what If It
Oh,
Isn't
okay.
Love video looks like?
Yeah.
So, yep. Another fun fact, this was sampled by Trick Daddy on his song Ain't a Thug from his album Thug Matrimony Married to the Streets. And lastly, this song was sang by Romeo Bullethead and their singing group for a talent show on an episode of The Steve Harvey Show. I wish I remembered this episode. Steve Harvey Show was not bad. It was not a bad
I
show.
don't remember. Oh, I used to love the Steve Harvey Show. I don't remember them singing this.
No, I want to find it. Hopefully, we'll find it. Maybe if we do, we'll put it in some socials.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Remind me to, yeah.
Find a little clippy clip because that sounds hilarious.
Sounds hilarious. Yes.
Yeah.
Extremely hilarious.
So, If It Isn't Love, along with its video, are notable for being the introduction of fellow R&B singer Johnny Gill as a new member of the group.
Mhm.
Now, its chart performance and well-received music video earned them their first and to date only nomination, for which Ralph Tresvant's lead vocals were nominated for the Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals at the 31st Grammy Awards in February of 1989. So, pretty cool.
I love that.
I do too. Again, a little bop. Anything that gets you moving as soon as you sing it is just deserving of being on this podcast. Because I'm like, you can't even say the title without doing a little bop.
You like if it is. Thank you.
Oh Lord, I done brought this dance back this week. Y'all is back.
Me. Oh,
Whatever that is.
It's my sister. It's my
That's my dance. It's the dance that's been in my spirit. I'm gonna let it do what it's doing, I guess. Just let it be.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, shoot. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've gone into my fourth jam. Let me keep the party going from where my sister just left off. Money Can't Buy You Love by Ralph Tresvant.
Right on time, are we?
So Money Can't Buy Love. I feel like it's a slept on Ralph Tresvant song. But anyway, Money Can't Buy Love is a 1992 single by R&B singer and songwriter Ralph Tresvant that was featured on the soundtrack for the comedy drama Mo Money. First of all, the way Mo Money was my movie back in the day. Let's talk about that. I know this isn't a movie podcast, but for a second, the way the Wayans brothers had the 90s on lock in every way, between like in living color and then like the movies that they started doing and like the show, like, and all of them was fine too. Like they were all fine. Like
it took me some time to realize that Marlon was also fine, but because you thought he was just funny and goofy, but I was like, hey, you look at Marlon a little bit longer, it's like it's kind of fine.
He is fine. So like him and Sean were on the Wayans brothers. I'm like, dang, Sean fine. But then when I looked back, I was like, Marlon fine. And then he got fine as he got older.
Yeah.
But anyway, now that I got that out the way. Anyway, so this jam by Ralph Tresvant, it was on the Mo Money soundtrack, which that was a hugely successful soundtrack. It went to number 6 on the Billboard 200 chart.
Mm-hmm.
And by September 1992, it was certified platinum by the RIAA after they sold more than 1 million copies in the United States. And one of those copies was mine. Thank you.
My sister was in that number.
You know, I was in that, helped y'all be platinum. So Money Can't Buy Love is this kind of upbeat. It's more of an upbeat song. It's R&B, dance, cut, you know. And it's about how money can't buy you the happiness that true love can bring, right? That's one of the lines of the song.
Okay.
Money can't buy you love, can't buy happiness true love can bring. And I'm like, I guess that's true.
It won't be the same happiness, but it might be some happiness.
The money buys happiness.
No.
I mean, money can buy you lots of things that would make you happy, like freedom. It buys you freedom, buys you trips. You know, trips make you very happy. Yeah. But I mean, that's another podcast episode. That's a whole other discussion. I'm like, money, true love. It's easier to get money than true love. So it's like, I'm gonna go with money.
I'm hollering.
Easier and faster. So, and I'm happy.
Well, there you go, folks.
And folks, welcome to our relationship podcast. But that song was a whole vibe, and I remember the video being lit too.
Yeah,
like he was dancing. Well, actually, the video was lit, but it was like a little bit weird too, because I feel like he was like dancing with a bunch of huge things of fabric blowing behind him, and he was like dancing in front of like things that look like scarves. It was like big hanging things of scarf, and he's like dancing. I'm like, okay. And, all right. I watched it.
Sounds good to me, right? You remember it too, so good enough. It stuck with you.
Yes, ma'am. And that is my 4th jam.
I love it. Perfect. On to mine. We're moving right along, y'all. We ain't even gonna hold y'all too long today. We're gonna make this a nice little length. My 4th jam is On Bended Knee, a song by the wonderful R&B group Boyz II Men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hey, girl.
This was released on the Motown record label in November of 1994 as the 2nd single from Boyz II Men's 2nd album, 2. Mm-hmm. Now, the song reached number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 Airplay chart and number 2 on the Billboard Hot Singles Sales chart on December 3rd of 1994. Now, it stayed at number 1 for a total of 6 non-consecutive weeks. Now, the single is notable for having replaced the previous Boyz II Men single, I'll Make Love to You, as the top song on the Billboard Hot 100. And that was the first time.
So On Bended Knee replaced I'll Make Love to You?
Yes.
So they replaced their own song?
Yes. And I was going to say, this was the first time that an act had replaced itself at number 1 since the Beatles, when I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, and Can't Buy Me Love monopolized the top of the chart for a total of 14 weeks. This is the Beatles jam.
What?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So with that, I don't even think I need to do much explaining as to why this jam is in today's episode. It's a classic. It's just a classic, and that's it.
Let me just tell you why I, for one, love doing this podcast, besides the fact that I completely love doing things with you.
No,
I do, because I love you. But the stuff that we have learned, I loved On Bended Knee, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had the 2 CD. And I loved On Bended Knee. Had no idea it was produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Nope.
And I knew them then. Like, everybody knew who Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was.
Right.
Had no idea they did production. because you don't look into that kind of stuff, you know. You're just like,
Young.
yeah, this sounds good. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
So there you go.
I love it.
That's the facts you didn't know you needed, and I love it. This is such a jam. A
It
classic
is.
heartbreak anthem, as we have discussed before. These little heartbreak songs, they cut different.
They did the heartbreak songs though. Like they did it like almost nobody
For
else.
real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really did.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Excellent, Jam.
Thank you. I was about to break into song. Thank you for stopping me. Moving on to your fifth. Are we already on your fifth and final
Yeah,
jam?
we're on the fifth. Now we on.
Okay. Make it happen. Your fifth and final jam.
We like bloop de bloop de bloop de bloop.
Right?
Okay, my fifth and final jam, baby. When I tell you this was my song, I didn't mean to turn you on by Sherelle.
Okay.
To this day, baby, this is my jam. I didn't mean to turn you on is the 1984 debut single from R&B singer Sherelle from her album Fragile. Honey, when I tell you, Sherelle was that girl when she came out. It's like she came out and she busted out. We're busting out on the phone. Busting out. She came out with this and was like, bam, I'm here. I'm Sherelle. Because she was everywhere. And like I remember watching, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but I remember watching the video for this song. Now the video was corny. It was corny. I mean, it was 1984, so I mean, yeah, all the videos were corny. But she was like in her hotel room, like getting dressed, like she get ready to go party, and like a gorilla was outside her window, and then she was like dancing with the gorilla, and I'm like, what? There was like a huge ape chasing after her and all this stuff, and then there's one scene where the ape starts breakdancing, and I'm like,
help us, Lord. What was the reason, though, is the question.
I don't know.
What was the reason?
I don't know what the reason, but I was so busy jamming. I'm like, all right, the ape dancing. All right, you know. But anyway, so girl, that's how they was back then. But when I tell you it was everywhere, the video was on Friday night videos everywhere. So this song became her first hit, peaking at number 8 on the R&B charts and number 79 on the Hot 100. But on the dance charts, it went to number 6, which makes sense because if I were old enough back in that time to go clubbing, I would have been deep on the dance floor when this came out. I would have been deep in the middle. I would have.
I'd have been right in the center of the
dance. In the middle, right there. When this came out, that would have been me. So a slightly altered version of the song was featured in the 2015 NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton, which I absolutely heard it when it came on in the scene in the movie. Like the dude that played Dr. Dre, like I don't know if they were in the studio or something. And I was like, that is my jam. I started dancing and snapping my fingers right there in the theater. I didn't mean to turn you on. In 1986, I Didn't Mean to Turn You On was covered by English singer Robert Palmer. You know him, sister, the Addicted to Love dude. My face is addicted to love.
Yes.
Well, he remade it and it was like, but it did well for him though. But I was like,
not as good as Sherelle.
I like him though. He made some bangers, but
gotcha.
But that is my 5th and final jam, sister.
Woo!
Yes.
Straight fire. Well, on to my last one, y'all. Moving along. My 5th and final jam is Everything by Miss Mary J Blige. Ooh. Ooh.
You are everything. And everything in you.
Yes. This is
Okay.
that's my song. Obviously, so just
Okay.
here I am talking about it. I'm talking, that's my song. Yeah, clearly. You see how we name this podcast? So that's what kind of stuff we say. That's my jam. I'm really just saying that. Well, now this is from Mary J. Blige's third album, "Share My World," released in 1997. Now, the song contains samples from "You Are Everything" by the soul group The Stylistics from 1971, and "The Payback" by James Brown from 1973. Now, MCA Records released the song as the third single from "Share My World" in August of '97. Everything reached number 24 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and number 5 on the U.S. Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart. It also got up to number 6 on the UK singles chart, becoming her first top 10 hit in the UK. And it entered the top 10 in the Netherlands and the top 20 in New Zealand. So she was just like, I'm hitting everywhere. Hit, 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 everywhere.
I've been everywhere, man. Where?
Here for it. Now, a gentleman named Larry Flick from Billboard stated in his review of the song that producers Jam and Lewis do an exemplary job of letting Blige breathe freely as an artist, which she does with delicious soul, while
Ooh.
also injecting their own signature pop and R&B flavor. Right, again with them saying what I mean.
Oh, okay, Larry.
Yes, Larry. Agreed, Larry. Yes. I'm
Yes,
with you
Larry.
when you're right, my boy. I'm with you when you're right. Okay.
Right.
So, now, to me, this song, Everything, is a Mary J. Blige staple. This is an essential of hers to me. Definitely one of the first ones that come to mind when I think of her. It's just, this is.
And it was such a beautiful video. Do you remember the video?
I don't think I do.
So she was standing, she was clearly at a waterfall. Now, I can't remember which island she's on, but she's in an island, on an island somewhere where there's a huge waterfall behind her. She's standing
I do
on.
believe she's in Hawaii. I think she's in Kauai, something, Hawaii.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks
I'm
big.
99. I saw this in my research and I'm pretty sure that's where she was.
Yeah, she like standing and singing on that right in that beautiful dress. I'm like, Mary is so bomb. We need a Mary episode. I swear we do. It's like,
yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But that's
yeah.
my fifth and final jam.
Here for it. Here for it.
All day here for it. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Girl, let me write down that we need a Mary J. Blige episode. that done got me.
Notebook, y'all.
Oh, Mary. We need to talk about Mary at some point.
Here comes that notebook. My sister's handy dandy. Notebook.
Notebook.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Well, y'all know what that means. If we throw all the jams, is it time for
Random
music crap?
Yes.
Woo!
Woo! And this time it is baby sister's turn.
Woohoo!
All right.
I hope I can answer it correctly this time. I failed on my last turn.
Well, I failed on mine too, so this is all in fun. I got my game show host Mike.
I see. I'm like, wait a minute, she didn't pick the mic up. This is getting serious. This is getting serious.
I'm in my game show host mode. Okay, sister.
Okay.
You ready?
Right.
Here you go. On Today in Music History, it is June 24th. Someone released their debut album in 2003, which, by the way, when researching this, I found like 3 different release dates from like various reputable sources. So we're going with the fact that it was released today on June 24th, so it can fit with our schedule and needs. This debut album took home 5 trophies at the 46th Annual Grammy Awards, and the album remains her highest selling album to date. Who is the artist?
In 2003.
In 2003, June 24th, this lady, released her debut album, June 24, 2003. She took home 5 Grammys at the 46th Annual Grammy Awards, and the album remains her highest selling album to date. Who is she?
Okay. Can I ask for hints or can I get multiple guesses? One or the other.
Oh, crap. And I suck for not finding more hints.
I mean, like, I can ask you stuff like, is she this? Is she that? Is she, you know, to get me close.
You can ask me questions,
Okay.
but we don't want to hold the people, though. They'll be like, log off.
Okay. 2003. Highest selling album to date.
And of course, she's still active today. Like, she is still making records.
Oh,
This was a breakthrough album, obviously. But
oh no, Beyonce.
yes!
That is not her. I'm like, but I could have said that 6 minutes ago. I could have said that before you asked the question. But here's the thing. I was like, no, it was throwing me off that you said that it's her highest selling to date. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yes.
This can't
It
be.
is her highest. Yep, it's her highest selling album to date still. Yes.
Not teaching me something about my girl. Okay.
Dangerously in Love. She has not topped Dangerously in Love.
Oh my God. Well, y'all, I hate that I held you that long because I could have said that as soon as she asked the question. That's the first person that came to my mind, but I was just like, no, that ain't it. You gotta trust yourself. Trust yourself. Probably first mind our mama tried to teach us.
Y'all.
Yay, I win. What do I win?
First correct answer to Random Music Crap. Woo!
Yay.
Sister, you get kisses.
Oh, thank you. And bragging rights for the week, I guess. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Y'all remember to listen to the playlist everywhere, especially YouTube this week, since one jam is missing from the others. Listen to the playlist, get these jams in your soul. They will feed you in your spirit. Anything else, sister?
Yes, don't forget to like, subscribe if you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, rate and review, all that good things. Thank you guys so much for the tons of love we have received on YouTube the last week. We are overwhelmed in a great way.
Best way.
In the best way. Please continue to show us the love. Comment any ideas, any show ideas, and then also don't forget to let us know if you want us to upload the audio only of our previous episodes. If you want, we will. So, and that's it.
Beautiful. Well, it's been a great time. We will see y'all next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of My Sister's Jam podcast. Please remember to rate and review the show. Follow us on social media at My Sister's Jam on Facebook and Instagram. And if you have questions or feedback, you can always email us at mysistersjam@gmail.com. And shout out to Matt Monroe Music for our original intro music. Thanks. See you next week. Bye.